All rise! Bethea'S Byte Reloaded is now in session. The Honorable Ernest J. Bethea, a.k.a. The Last Outlaw, presiding. You may now be seated. Good evening to everyone on the East Coast. Good afternoon, everyone on the West Coast and all points between. Welcome to this special Quarters in Recess edition of Bethea'S Byte Reloaded. So good to have everyone joining me. And today, as I always do, I'm going to start off with a missing persons case. But this one was actually I shared 3 weeks ago. And I'm sharing it again because I got a message on my TikTok account. How you doing, Deanna? I got a message on my TikTok account that from someone saying that her babies are still missing, and I promised that I would reshare this all over again. So I'm gonna stick to my word. I'm gonna keep that promise, and I am going to once again share with you information on Iris and Tamara Perez. Watch closely and pay attention. Hey guys, this is The Last Outlaw. The FBI field office in Detroit, Michigan, along with Bay City Resident Agency and Roscommon County Sheriff's Office need your help to locate sisters Iris Perez, aka Adala Precious Crowder, and Tamara Perez, aka Secura Latrell Nombre, who have been declared missing since June 28, 2023. Iris is currently 14 years of age. Tamara is currently 15 years of age. At the time of their disappearances, Iris stood about 5 feet tall, weighed around 140 pounds, and has black hair and brown eyes. Iris has a star tattoo on the left side of her neck. Tamara stood about 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighed around 120 pounds, and also has black hair and brown eyes. The sisters were last seen by a neighbor on June 28, 2023, heading towards woods near their home in Houghton Lake, Michigan. Surveillance video shows a newer model white Jeep leaving the area at the time Iris and Tamara disappeared. It is also noteworthy that until approximately March 2023, the sisters lived in Florida with their adoptive parents. They moved to Michigan after they were found in the biological mother's home in Port St. Lucie, Florida. The sisters have ties to Port St. Lucie and Lake Worth, Florida, Winchester, Tennessee, and Houghton Lake, Michigan. If you have any information about Iris and Tamara's whereabouts, please do not hesitate. Call 911 immediately. Reach out to your local FBI office or call the Roscommon County Sheriff's Office at 989-275-5101. You can also submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. Your help and vigilance can play a crucial role in bringing Iris and Tamara back safe and sound. Please share this message to increase the chances of reaching people who might have valuable information. Remember, if you see something, say something. Your help is desperately needed to bring those two sisters back home. So, like I said, if you have any information, please contact the numbers you've just seen. Get in touch with your local FBI office. Submit a tip at tips.fbi.gov. But whatever you do, if you see something, say something. Bring these sisters home. Been looking forward to this all day. Well, here we go. Oh, welcome to this special session of Bethea'S Byte Reloaded. I'm treating this like a courtroom of sorts, and you are part of the 13th jurors. So welcome, be seated, and let's get down to business. I am going to start by bringing. I'm gonna let you know I'm bringing cases that have grabbed my attention, and certainly some of them may have grabbed yours as well. I'm going to start with an update to a case that literally got my foot in the door. This is the case of Florida versus Tim and Tracy Ferreter. Now, as I prepare to share this this screen with you, they had a motion hearing today, and that motion hearing had to do with severing the case between both husband and wife. They rather face this down separately. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to enlarge the screen, unmute this, and we're going to take you into the Jupiter, Florida courtroom. This is a pre-trial hearing for Tim and Tracy Ferreter, and to sever the case between both defendants.
All right, ladies here. All right, we're back in session. Court has called up the matter of State versus Timothy Ferreter and Tracy Ferreter. Appearance of the counsel, please.
On behalf of the state, Brianna Coakley. On behalf of Tim Ferreter, Priya Marat. Jennifer Marshall, on behalf of Tracy Ferreter. Kirsten Herndon, legal aid on behalf of the child.
Okay. All right, so we have a number of matters to be heard by the court this morning. Let me just address the first one. That I think I've been advised that there's an agreement. That's the motion to sever the co-defendants. Is there agreement on that? All right, so in light of the fact that the state has agreed to the defendant Timothy Ferreter's motion to sever, the court will grant that motion, which brings us to the next question of which case that is going to go to trial on the 29th.
Your Honor, I need about a week.
Oh, how foolish of me! I didn't even break down what this case involved. Yes, I did say this is the case that got my foot in the door. This is the case of the parents, and I use that term loosely for these two, who kept their adopted son, 14 years of age at the time, locked up in an 8x8 box. They call it the boy in the box trial, but as far as I'm concerned, that 8x8 box, which only had a bed, a bucket, and just that, it was a prison for that child. The boy, it was so bad for the boy. He when he was finally able to reach police, he said himself that he would rather go to prison than to go back home with these two. So this motion, this pretrial hearing is to ask the judge to sever the cases between husband and wife, Tim and Tracy, so they can be tried separately. I've got a feeling about this, and I'll talk about that a little bit.
A week to make a final determination, but I expect it to be Tim.
Are you expected to be Tim? Okay, all right. So just let the court know, let the defense counsel know as soon as the state's made a decision on that. And once the decision is made, I want you to come back in front of me so that I can also go ahead and get Tracy Ferreter's case set on the docket as well, because it's a large panel jury selection.
Well, I think it's a large panel, but the fact that they're severed significantly reduces the number of jurors that we can.
Okay, so then we can put that on.
We can probably do like 60 to 70.
If you can do 60 or 70, we put that on a normal docket. It can be scheduled fairly promptly.
Yeah.
We can discuss this, I think, at the end. I agree with the state that it will not need to be as large of a panel because obviously there won't be 12 crime juries between us, but because of the media attention this case has had, my concern is that 70 won't get us, and it is allegation.
It's not going to be an issue for the first one going on.
Oh, understood, because we already had the big
It's
panel.
already a large panel.
I apologize, I
It
understand.
can only be an issue for the second trial as to how many jurors you need. If you are going to need 100, then we need to schedule that as early in advance as possible, because you're typically looking at a lead time of 3 to 6 months as to when I can get you, because we want this to be number one when it goes, so that's a lead time of at least 3 to 6 months. All right, okay, so it won't be an issue though for the first one, because we're already in the proper track for that case.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so nothing further for the court to do on the motion to sever. So that is granted, and cases will be severed, and the state will let the court know which case is going to trial on September 29th. Okay, so I don't care what we deal with next. We can deal with the notice of production from non-party and the objection or the waivers. Well, those are the only 2 other issues to be
For today, yes.
addressed for today. Okay, so Ms. Murad, do you want to deal with the notice of production? Is that yours?
It's the state's objection, but the request is mine, so I'm happy to begin.
So let's start out with your request, and then I'll hear the objection. And I want you to also address for me, because my recollection is that I kind of addressed some of the issues that are raised in this previously, and I think I ruled in a way that was against the defendant's position on this in terms of the disclosure. But you can refresh me, and then I'm sure I'll recall it.
Sure, Judge. I filed a notice of non-party production for specifically behavioral, medical, and educational records for the child RF from the dates he was at whatever the facility I asked for, so it's Suncoast and Sandy Pines, and it specifically stated these records should not include any communications between the child and any treating mental health professionals or any mental health diagnoses. At the last hearing, we asked for essentially medical and psychiatric records, and the court denied that request. And I believe the court's ruling was primarily based on the psychotherapist patient privilege, and the court, I believe, also cited Marcy's law and confidentiality, which I have a position on that as it relates to this. I actually specifically asked the court at the end of that hearing what the court would decide as to behavioral records, and the reason is, if my memory is correct, and I actually do have the tape of the hearing should we need to listen to it, the court stated that psychiatric records the court considers is very unique compared to just a medical record or behavioral record.
Okay, guys, I won't bore you with all the details as far as the hearing goes, but I will break this down according to the article from Court TV, which is where we're getting this video from, and I want to shout them out as well. At a motion hearing on Thursday, a judge agreed to sever the cases of Tim and Tracy Ferreter, who were accused of abusing their 13-year-old son by forcing him to live in an 8x8 box in their garage. As the hearing began, the prosecution said it had no objection to Tim Ferreter's motion to sever his case from his wife Tracy. Tim wanted the cases severed, arguing he could not get a fair trial because of lies his wife allegedly made to investigators. Tracy Ferreter spoke to Child Protective Services and Jupiter Police Department officers about a week before the couple's arrests. In the motion, the defense points out that Tim was not in the country when Tracy spoke to the authorities and had nothing to do with her inconsistent statements. Tracy told CPS and JPD that the box was not there where the child lived, but where he was put in timeout, and that he shared a room with another one of their kids. Video evidence showed those statements were not true. With the 2 cases severed, the court asked which case would be ready for trial first. His attorney said that Tim's trial would likely proceed to a jury before Tracy's. After resolving the motion to sever the cases, the judge sustained the state's objection to a defense subpoena for the victim's medical records. The Ferreters have asked for access to the victim's psychotherapist records from facilities where he has been treated since his parents' arrest. Prosecutors cited the victim's right to privacy and the lack of specificity in the motion, accusing the defense of going on a fishing expedition looking for information. And while the judge sided with the state in sustaining the objection, he did so without prejudice, allowing the defense to bring the motion back with further evidence. Another motion pending with the court addresses prior allegations in Arizona. Prosecutors intend to offer evidence from before the family moved to Florida, including evidence of alleged neglect, abuse, and confinement. That motion will be heard at a hearing scheduled for Thursday, September 14th. Now, like I said, I had a feeling in regard to this. My feeling is simply this: both Tim and Tracy Ferriter wants that case severed because I believe, deep down in my heart, I believe that Tim is going to flip on Tracy and vice versa. And as long as they know that one's going to flip on the other, it's probably a good idea to say everybody for themselves. And all I can say to the two is good luck to you, because you've got an uphill climb, considering what you're arrested for, who the victim is, and everything that goes with this case. They'll be back in court on September the 14th. And when I get that information, I'll be sure to bring it to you for Bethea'S Byte Reloaded. Now we move onward to another quick news story that I want to hit before I hit any of the major cases. This one I'm going to file under Justice Served. Oh yes, this one goes all the way back to 1992. A 50-year-old woman who was sentenced Wednesday to life in prison for killing her newborn, whose stabbed body was found in a plastic bag in a South Carolina river in 1992. A York County, South Carolina jury convicted Stacy Michelle Rabon of homicide by child abuse earlier this month. She was charged with her baby's death 2 years ago, when a DNA sample taken in a 2019 drug arrest matched the DNA from the infant. Rabon will be eligible for parole starting in 2031 because she was sentenced under the law in 1992, which allowed for shorter sentences for serious convictions. My opinion, I don't think it should have been that way, but then again, this was 1992. Rabon told investigators she delivered the baby in a van by the Catawba River near Rock Hill, South Carolina, but then gave it up to a couple because she didn't want to keep her and never saw the child again. Prosecutors said she made up that story after she was arrested. They said the infant was found wrapped in plastic sheets inside a plastic bag in the river in August of 1992 and was stabbed at least 50 times. Investigators couldn't determine if the baby died from stab wounds or suffocated in the bag. Stacy Rabon threw her baby into that cold Catawba River, never looking back, abandoning her, keeping her secret for 29 years, said York County Sheriff's Deputy Linnell Day, the detective who made the DNA link. Rabon asked for mercy. She said her decision to give the child up to people she didn't know haunts her. I can't think of anything but her face, Rabon said. Think about her, everything. Growing up, all these things were taken from her because I made poor decisions. Circuit Court Judge Bill McKinnon said the life sentence was appropriate because the victim was so vulnerable. A newborn comes into this world looking for his parents to protect it, McKinnon said. This baby was stabbed more than 50 times. Rabon's lawyer said she is a much different person than the teen who had the baby more than 30 years ago. She came into court Wednesday in a wheelchair and needs surgeries. The community called the girl Baby Angel Hope and buried her in 1992. 30 years. 30 years, and they finally sentenced that woman to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 2031. Honestly, again, if they're I know they're following the law from 1992, but if it were up to me, parole would be the last thing I'd give her. So, despite all that, Deanna says, what is going on in this world? There are so many resources that are willing to help people who find themselves in positions like these. You're right. You're right. But instead, they rather discard that child like he or she is absolutely nothing. Which reminds me of a case that's going on that's getting ready to that will be getting ready to go to court pretty soon. We'll get to that one later. But as far as Ramon goes, justice served. Next up, we got another case. This one's out of Florida. And as I go through these cases, I still wonder what is with these so-called parents that just want to kill their kids. It's like Deanna just said minutes ago. What is going on here? St. Cloud, Florida. A Central Florida mother admitted that she strangled her teenage son to death Monday, according to investigators. Oh, keep in mind this is as of this article was posted August 23rd. Central Florida admitted that she strangled her teenage son to death. Osceola County Sheriff Marcus Lopez said the deputies responded to a home near St. Cloud at about 7:30 a.m. after receiving a 911 call. They later found a 13-year-old boy lying face up in a bed, deceased. While at the scene, 37-year-old Jasmine Kennedy told deputies that she killed her son. Deputies said she admitted to choking him to death on the bed. The sheriff's office said Kennedy is cooperating with the investigation, but it is unclear why she killed her son. Lopez is currently being held on charges of premeditated murder, child neglect with great bodily harm, aggravated child abuse, and domestic battery by strangulation, according to jail records. Lopez said the medical examiner's office will perform an autopsy on the victim to confirm the cause of death, and Kennedy may face more charges after that examination is complete. Now, I don't have all the information on this, but I am planning on getting all the information on it, and as soon as I get it, I promise you all, you will get it. Remember, this is the home for news without all the drama, your opinions, lively debates, your voice heard, and above all else, justice served. All right. Let's go on to a case that everybody knows about. New Mexico versus Alexee Trevizo. And here, As you can see at the headline, courtesy of DailyMail.com, more than 12,000. Oh no, you don't see it yet. Hang on. Now, the headline says more than 12,000 signed a petition to kick out Alexee Trevizo from university after her bail was changed so she can go to classes despite being accused of murdering her newborn baby. I do have an update on that, but I want to bring part of this article to your attention first. The article tells you this from all the way back from August 30th. As of then, more than 12,000 people have signed a petition to ban a New Mexico teenager who is accused of murdering her newborn baby from attending college. 19-year-old Alexee Trevizo gave birth to her son in a bathroom at the Artesia General Hospital on January 27th before putting his body in a trash can. The teenager claims the baby boy wasn't crying when she gave birth to him and was a stillborn, while prosecutors say she killed him by strangling him. Now, it has emerged that more than 12,000 people have signed a petition to kick Trevizo out of New Mexico State University in Las Cruces after a judge modified her bail conditions so as to allow her to attend classes in person there. The petition, started by Evelyn Graciano on change.org, said allowing Trevizo to pursue higher education when she has been charged with a heinous crime is morally wrong. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to agree to that. And here's the update. In fact, you know what? I'm going to let you see this for yourself. Let's see. Deanna says, unfortunately, women or girls who do give up their kids are looked down on if the Medi catches wind of it. I'm not totally sure about all that. It's better that they give. But is it? On the Trevizo case, she has. But is it legally wrong? If the media catches wind of it, okay. That depends on the media. If they would rather see a child die before being given up to somebody else, then that's on those media knuckleheads. But as far as the Alexee Trevizo petition, get a look at this. Now, remember, the original article said over 12,000. It's now grown. It's now grown up to 20, just over 22,000. This is Evelyn Graciano's statement on change.org. We, concerned citizens of New Mexico, call upon authorities and educational institutions to take immediate action to prevent Alexee Trevizo from pursuing a career in nursing or social work or any field of education. We believe that her recent actions, which include being charged with the murder of her newborn baby by throwing the infant into a trash can, demonstrate an alarming lack of empathy and disregard for human life. As members of our community, we have a responsibility to protect vulnerable individuals and ensure their safety. Allowing someone who has been involved in such a heinous crime to pursue an education, especially one that involves caring for others, is not only morally wrong, but also poses significant risks to potential patients or clients. According to numerous studies conducted by reputable organizations such as the National Center on Child Abuse and Neglect, there is evidence suggesting that individuals who commit acts of violence against children are more likely to exhibit similar behaviors in life. This raises serious concerns about Alexee Trevizo's ability to provide compassionate care or support within nursing or social work roles. Furthermore, it is important to consider the impact that this case may have on the public trust. Allowing someone charged with murder access into education where they will be entrusted with other individuals could undermine public confidence in these fields, as well as the justice system itself. By denying Alexee Trevizo entry into New Mexico State University or any other educational institution within our state, we can prioritize both public safety and ethical standards. We urge New Mexico State University administration, along with relevant licensing boards and authorities responsible for overseeing these professions in New Mexico State. 1. Reconsider admission to Alexee Trevizo. 2. Implement stricter background checks and screening processes for individuals seeking entry into these professions, ensuring the safety of vulnerable populations. And 3. Collaborate with local law enforcement agencies to ensure that individuals charged with violent crimes against children are not permitted to careers. By signing this petition, we demand justice for the innocent and advocate for a safer future where those who have demonstrated a lack of empathy towards vulnerable individuals are not granted access to professions. Wow. Let's see. Deanna says nursing with a shocked smiley, saying, "I wouldn't want her to care for a loved one of mine." Deanna, I echo your sentiment. Believe me, I do.
I don't have an answer for that.
And that's my Amazon Echo doing what she does best. Anyway, I said I totally agree with that. The last person I would want to have taken care of anybody I love would be Alexee Trevizo. But hey, if there's anybody within the sound of my voice who believes that she should be able to go to college while awaiting trial for the death of her child, please hit me up. I've got ways for you to get in contact with me. You'll hear it at the end of the video, but still, I'm gonna give it to you anyway. Drop me a message on Facebook. Bethea'S Byte Reloaded True Crime. If you can't do it on Facebook, look, that's fine. Fine. I'm on Twitter or X if you're calling it that. Thanks a lot, Elon Musk. You can hit me up that way. And here's the handle. EKB316. Oh, here on YouTube. Here you go, right here on YouTube at Bethea'S Byte Reloaded. Man, I'm tripping here. You can hit me up on Instagram. My original Instagram address was hacked into, so now I'm using my normal Instagram to do what the original was doing. You can hit me up there at EKB316. And you can also hit me up on TikTok. Yep. I use TikTok for my entertainment, but I also drop in missing persons cases too. Want to hit me up? Here you go. I'm at King of Hearts 316 2021. And if that still doesn't meet your fancy and you still want to get in contact with me, you can always email me. My address, King of Hearts 316 _09 at outlook.com. So there you go. You got all 6 ways to get in contact with me. Drop me a line. If you think Alexee Trevizo should go to college, say so. If you don't, say so. I want to hear from you. Next up, I want to drop in a little something regarding the sleepover kidnapping murder trial, state of Iowa versus Henry Earl Dinkins. And let me go ahead and get you set up here. Watch this. Oh, actually, no. It's gonna take you a while. Well, so basically, where we're at with this case right now is instead of this being a jury trial, a judge is going to decide the fate of Henry Dinkins. Here's the breakdown. A judge is now tasked with determining the fate of an Iowa sex offender who was on trial for the murder of 10-year-old Bresia Terrell. 51-year-old Henry Earl Dinkins of Davenport is charged with first-degree murder and first-degree kidnapping in Bresia's July 2020 disappearance and death. If convicted, he faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. On the night of Bresia's disappearance, she had plans to sleep over at Dinkins' apartment with her younger brother, who was 8 years old at the time. Dinkins is her half-brother's father and lived with his girlfriend, Andrea Culberson, who was also home the night of Bresia's disappearance on July 9, 2020. Culberson took the stand and said she woke up the night of the sleepover to find both Dinkins and Bresia missing around 3 a.m., so she stayed up to wait for their return. Bresia's brother, referred to as DL during the trial, was still asleep in the bedroom. Culberson said Dinkins quietly entered the apartment at 3:30 a.m. Culberson says she looked out the window and saw Bresia standing there next to Dinkins' maroon Chevy Impala. Dinkins would not tell Culberson where he was or where he was going. He quickly grabbed something from the closet and left. Culberson then said she went back to the window as Dinkins was leaving the parking lot, presumably with Bresia, who was never seen alive again after that night. Bresia's mother, Aisha Langford, reported her daughter missing on July 10th. Dinkins, who was a registered sex offender with a significant criminal history, was immediately a person of interest in her disappearance. Davenport police investigators, with the aid of multiple local, state, and federal agencies, spent the next several months conducting an exhaustive search for the girl. Meanwhile, Dinkins was jailed days after Bresia went missing for violating sex offender registry requirements. Dinkins had failed to notify authorities. when he moved in with his girlfriend. He was also forbidden from having contact with minors. According to the Iowa Sexual Offender Registry, Dinkins was convicted in 1990 at the age of 17 of the third-degree sexual abuse of a girl under the age of 13. Dinkins remained jailed for several months during the search for Bresia. Then on March 22nd, 2021, two fishermen came upon human remains in a secluded pond on private land about 25 miles north of Davenport in rural Clinton County. An autopsy positively identified the remains to be those of Bresia. The medical examiner testified that Bresia's reason for death was a homicide caused by multiple gunshot wounds. Dinkins is opted for a bench trial, placing his fate in the hands of a judge who is currently deliberating and is expected to reach a verdict over the next couple of weeks. So basically, Dinkins had decided to go through this trial, but leave his fate in the hands of a judge instead of the hands of 12 in a box, if you know what I mean. I hate to be on the opposite side of that. Worse, I hate to be in his shoes. Because simply put, knowing that A, you're a registered sex offender, B, you're being charged with kidnapping and murder, and you want to C, put your fate in the hands of a judge? I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would say that despite the fact that this judge is still deliberating as of right now, his chances does not look good. His chances does not look good, and I already see right now Henry Earl Dinkins being convicted of this little girl's murder. When I get right now basically we're under verdict watch. The moment I hear word that a verdict is returned, I will be back here and I will let you know what that verdict is. And now I've cleared my entire docket so far. I've given you the news update on the Florida mom who admitted to strangling her teen son to death, the Justice Surf file with the mom getting life sentence for stabbing her newborn in 92. Tim and Tracy Ferreter as now having their case severed. The change.org petition regarding Alexee Trevizo. You know what? What I'm gonna do regarding that one. What I'm gonna do regarding that one is have a poll set up in my community tab. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and set that up right now. Yeah, I'm gonna have this poll set up right now. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and type this out as you're hearing it from me. A change.org petition is circulating around that Alexee Trevizo should be kicked out of New Mexico State University while she is still facing charges of murdering her newborn child. A judge has modified her bail restrictions so Trevizo can attend classes. Was this the right decision? Option 1, yes, she should be allowed to take classes before her trial. Option 2, absolutely not. She would be a distraction for the people who are she would be a distraction for others. All right. And it is now posted. So anybody who wants to put their 2 cents on it, go to my community tab on Facebook. Let's see, Deanna. When is the government going to announce that sex offenders cannot be rehabilitated and need a life sentence? Deanna, I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe that's gonna come when the government decides makes that decision if something were to happen to their child. That's my opinion on it. Until then, they're just gonna sit around twiddling their thumbs, and the next sex offender that comes up, as long as it doesn't happen to their child, fine. They don't need a life sentence. Let them out. Let them do whatever they want. Okay, now that we got that clear, I've got my docket clear. Let's go to the trial that I'm following, and it's currently ticking me and another creator that I know of off. Shout out to my girl Brittany J. This is the case of South Carolina versus Larry King Jr. and Rita PANGALANGAN. There are so many jokes I can hear about this name right now, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm trying to keep this as professional and as orderly as possible. This is the disabled teen death trial. And we've already had 2 days worth of testimony in the books. But in case you're just joining us on this case, here's the breakdown. A woman who was once named Teacher of the Year and her boyfriend are standing trial on charges that they killed a 13-year-old girl with special needs. Well, that's right. Here I am trying to be stingy. RITA PANGALANGAN and Larry King Jr. are charged with murder, criminal conspiracy, and great bodily harm of a child for the death of Pangalangan's teenage daughter, Christina. According to court filings obtained by Court TV, and I shout out Court TV for following cases like this the way they do it. I love these guys. According to court filings obtained by Court TV, Christina Pangalangan was born March 28, 2006, with severe intellectual and physical disabilities that left her confined to a wheelchair and unable to communicate verbally. Prosecutors alleged that on August 5, 2019, Rita and Larry left Christina alone in a vehicle parked outside of Larry's house for more than 5 hours, killing the teenager. 5 hours in a car when you're disabled and nonverbal. According to a wrongful death lawsuit, Christina was left in the car from 11 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. on a day when the outside temperature was between 88 and 91 degrees. The temperature inside the car was estimated to have reached between 130 and 135 degrees. As a result of being left unattended in a parked car in the middle of the summer, Christina died a torturous death of extreme pain and suffering. Let me stop there. I stopped there because I've said this on numerous occasions. I preach this every summer. You can time me like clockwork. I let Memorial Day happen, and then immediately after Memorial Day, I'm here online with my annual public service announcement not to leave your children or your pets in a hot car. And the last thing I always say is, I do not want to see or hear stories like this happening. This was all the way back in 2019. This was all the way back in 2019, ladies and gentlemen. Investigators told WCIV that Rita's story began to fall apart after detectives see security camera video from King's home, which reportedly shows the couple bringing the teen into King's house before returning her to the car and abandoning her. 3 hours later, Rita and Larry left the home in another vehicle and returned an hour later. According to the Associated Press, Rita had been named the 2014 Teacher of the Year at Walter Pearl's Blackstreet Early Education Center. The South Carolina State Board of Education suspended her educator's certificate immediately after her arrest. In filing her suspension, the board said that despite her more than 25 years as an educator, The arrest showed that Ms. Pangalangan may pose a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of students. And honestly, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't. I mean, let's look at this. Let's look at the entire scenario once again. You have a 13-year-old, disabled, non-verbal teenage girl left in the back of a car with the outside temperature of between 88 and 91 degrees. The girl is left in the car for 5 hours. I heard somebody use this term this morning, that the car was basically being used as a convection oven. She was being cooked in there. What do I mean by being cooked? Remember, the temperatures inside the car reached between 130 and 135 degrees. I want to bring up a couple things first. I want to bring up the testimony of an old friend whom Rita Pangalangan suggested that leave her in the car. That's what I do. So I'm gonna set this up for you guys. Yeah, we love Britney. We love Britney too. I'm gonna go ahead and set this up for you, and I'm gonna let you hear this testimony from this old friend. And you tell me how this makes sense to you.
My name is Brittany Honeycutt, Honeycutt,
Miss Honeycutt, where do you live, ma'am?
I live in Link City, Texas.
And what do you do?
I am in administration for Chevron.
How long have you been doing that?
A couple months.
Let me ask you to go back now to August and a few months prior to that, in 2019. Did you know Rita Pangalangan?
I did not know her personally. I met her through an ex-boyfriend.
Okay. And so, did you have an occasion to come in contact with her on a regular basis?
After I moved in, yes.
All right, but tell me about moving in.
When I moved in, the agreement was I would pay some rent.
All right, let me back up just a
Okay,
second.
sorry.
So, who are you moving in with?
It was me and my 2 kids
Okay. And who are you moving, you and your 2 kids in?
into Rita Pangalang's house on Academy Road.
And that's Academy Road?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
All right, great. So, what was the rental agreement on that?
I would pay her some rent just for staying there because it was supposed to be a temporary situation.
How long did you stay, how long did you rent from Rita?
From May of 2019 until August 1st of 2019.
Until August 1st, 2019. So until the Thursday before this.
Yes.
During that time, did you come in contact with Christina?
Yes, every day.
Tell me about Christina. How would you describe Christina?
Christina was obviously disabled, but she was a sweet girl. She was quiet. She kind of watched TV. She played with her toys. She didn't really bother anybody. I mean, you knew she was there, but she was just really quiet.
Tell me, could she walk?
She could not walk.
Could she talk?
She could not talk.
But you could see emotions, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah, she definitely showed emotions.
Okay. All right. Did you ever take care of Christina?
There were a couple times where I was asked to watch her for a little bit.
So when you say you were asked, who asked you?
Rita asked me.
Okay. Asked you to watch.
Yes.
And how many times was that?
By myself, a couple.
Your Honor, this is subject to our prior.
Yes. Proceed.
Thank you. All right, so over the time that you stayed there, you watched her yourself, by yourself a couple of times?
Yes.
And what did you have to do to take care of her?
Since it was just a few hours when I had to do it by myself, it was just basically make sure her diaper was clean, make sure she had Kool-Aid in her cup, and that was pretty much it.
Did she, did Rita Pangalangan never just leave the child with you without asking you to take care of her?
Yes.
And how did that happen?
So there was an incident where there was a Sunday night in July where she had asked me to watch her for just overnight, and I said that was fine. So, I'm sorry, that was not Sunday, that was a Monday. And she came back the next day because I had told her I had to work. So she did come back home that morning, and she told me she was going to be home all day. And when I was ready to go to work, or sorry, I am so sorry, I like got my days mixed up. So when I first watched her the first night, that was an agreement. The next day it was she wasn't going anywhere. And then it was I remember her giving her a bath. I remember her getting ready for bed, and she would close her door, and she did the normal routine. And then I went to bed with my kids because I had to work the next day. And next thing I know, the next morning I woke up, Christina was in her room trying to get out of the room.
So when Christina's in the room, is she locked in the room?
I don't know if the door was locked, but I know she could not open the door.
Is the hand?
Yes.
Did Rita, and let me go now, I'm going to go right up until the August when you left. You ended up leaving the Thursday before this event took
Yes.
place, is that correct?
Yes.
Getting pretty close to that time, did you have a discussion with Rita about you babysitting Christina and whether or not you were able to do that?
Yes.
Please tell us about that.
So she had come up to me and asked me,
All right, I'm going to stop
oh,
you when you
sorry.
say
Oh, sorry, should I just say her name?
Please.
Okay, sorry. Rita came up to me and had asked me if I could watch her. I had let her know that I had to go into work for a few hours, and she kept asking me over and over. And finally, when the answer didn't change, it was no, obviously. She told me to leave Christina in my car with the windows down because she does it all the time.
Your Honor, we have that.
Objections overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I think you interrupted. You said you couldn't because you had to go to work.
Yes.
Pick it up from there.
So when I told her the first time, she kept asking me over and over again. And when she realized that the answer was not going to change from no, she had told me that I could still take her and leave her in my car with the windows down, and because she does it all the time. Because she does it all the time.
She did.
Rita.
You see Rita Pangalangan in the courtroom?
Yes, I do. She's right there.
Your Honor, let the record reflect she's identified the defendant, Rita Pangalangan.
Right there where,
Oh, right over here in the
What
white
is she wearing?
shirt. It looks like a blue jacket and a white shirt.
it does.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions. Thank you,
Okay.
Senator. None, Your Honor.
Mr. Phillips.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sign that. Rita kicked you out of the house right before all this happened, is that right?
It was more of I was moving. I had already had a house set up.
That's your opinion. She kicked you out of the house because you weren't paying rent and you brought bed bugs into her home. Is that fair to say?
No, sir.
And you also moved your boyfriend into the home with his whole family. Y'all had a very toxic relationship and you were in her home, not paying rent, correct?
I do not agree with that, no.
No further. Nothing else, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next step.
Leave her in your car because that's what I do all the time. That's Rita to her friend Brittany Honeycutt. Somebody please make that make sense. If you can, let me know. And for those of you, like I said, who are just joining us, this is a breakdown of what we're dealing with in this case.
I'm Vinnie Politan. Great to have you with us here tonight on Closing Arguments. And every night I get to do this job, I'm so thankful that I'm able to do this job. And I have so many people to thank who allowed me to become who I am and really guided me through this journey of life to live out your dreams doing what I'm doing every night. And of course, it begins with my parents, continued, obviously, with my wife. But also, growing up, going back, teachers, top of the list. Coach Blind, my basketball coach, shaped and molded me in high school. In junior high school, it was Mr. Ehrlich, my journalism teacher, who did that. And he took a kid who was shy and found whoever I was inside and helped transform me. It was amazing. A teacher. And then in grammar school, of course, Miss Martucci and every other grammar school teacher I had. Amazing, amazing teachers, amazing people. That's why when it's time to celebrate teachers, we all should be celebrating teachers. RITA PANGALANGAN, take a look. Teacher of the Year in 2014. Teacher of the Year in 2014. And there she is with her special needs child, who she took care of as well. Think about that, folks. You have the child at home that needs all this care, and you take care of that child, and then you go to work and you take care of everyone else's child. What an amazing, amazing heart and person. RITA.
Now, you see how Vinny just broke that down. You see how Vinny broke that down as far as RITA PANGALANGAN, as when she was actually doing what would be considered the right thing as a teacher and as a mom, until she didn't.
PANGALANGAN. At least was. Because today in court at her, murder trial, we found out a little bit more about how she was treating her own special needs child. Get ready, this could get you upset, but it should get you upset. Let's take a listen.
If anybody is already upset watching this right now, then okay, sorry, Vinny, but it's a little too late. Anybody that's not upset, then get ready to get upset.
About what time did she ask if you watch?
I believe it was like around 5, 6 o'clock.
And did you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And tell me about that. She left the house, I'm assuming, sometime around that afternoon?
Yes, sir. I would say about like around 5, 6 o'clock. That afternoon, she left.
Anybody else there to take care of Christina?
No, sir.
It was just you?
Mm-hmm.
Had you taken care of Christina before?
No, sir.
This was on what day?
The second.
Second.
Yes, sir.
What day was that?
A Friday.
Did you see RITA PANGALANGAN again?
Not until Sunday afternoon.
After she went on a date with Larry, did she say, I'm gone and I'll be back Monday or anything like that?
She said that she texted me later that night to check on Christina. I would say about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And that she said she would be back the next morning on Saturday to go grocery shopping and stuff like that, but she never came. And
were there groceries in the house?
no, sir.
Just the insured drinks?
Mm-hmm. And I think there was a pitcher of Kool-Aid in there, maybe in the fridge.
Right. So did she come back the next day?
No,
That would be,
sir.
I guess,
Saturday.
Again.
And
were there groceries in the house?
no, sir.
Just the insured drinks?
And I think there was a pitcher of Kool-Aid in there, maybe in the fridge.
Ensure and Kool-Aid. Yeah, that's gonna really nourish a child, right?
Right? So did she come back the next day?
No,
That would be, I guess,
Saturday.
Saturday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did
Saturday.
she come back Saturday?
No, sir.
Did she call in?
No, sir.
Rita came up to me and had asked me if I could watch her. I had let her know that I had to go to work for a few hours, and she kept asking me over and over. And finally, when the answer didn't change, it was no, obviously, she told me to leave Christina in my car with the windows down because she does it all the time.
Leave on a Friday, come back on a Sunday, leave with a babysitter who doesn't know how to take care of your child, and you've got nothing at the house but Kool-Aid? Okay, now let's get to the day of the alleged murder. We've got video of the whole thing taking place. It starts at 11:16 when she puts her daughter with her boyfriend.
Hold on. This is where I must drop the trigger warning. Because I know some of you are already upset, and I would expect that. It upset me too. All right, so there you go. Now, here's all the footage you need to say, hey, this is nowhere near.
Carrying her middle of the day. What? Why are you going? They're not even going anywhere. Now it's 12:30. Oh, maybe we should check and see how she's doing. In the sun, in the car. Like, why are you putting your child out in the car while you're home? Now here they are from 1:45 to 2 o'clock on the stoop.
Now keep in mind, from this point forward, the temperatures are reaching around 88 to 91 degrees outside.
You've got her and the boyfriend. What are they, like, the child's in the car. Can you get her out? Oh no, let's kiss a little bit. What is he doing? Where's his hand? What are they doing? Like groping each other on the porch? How about taking care of the special needs child that you have instead of leaving her locked in the car? This is gross. This is gross. I don't even know if you want to, you definitely don't want to see this. But this is the evidence in the case. And it goes on and on and on. 5.5 hours. Christina died in that hot car.
5.5 hours, Christina died in the hot car where the temperatures inside the car reached anywhere between 130 and 135 degrees. Can you say torture? Can you say suffering? Can you say pain? And Deanna's asking a question a lot of us I know are asking. Did this poor baby ever experience any love in her short life? I personally wish I had the answer for that. I do. I would love to have the answer for that.
That was your teacher of the year.
Yeah.
Unreal. Let's bring in our think tank.
No, let's not worry about the think tank. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and take this to another extreme here. Let's watch Larry King take the stand. No, wait, really? You're gonna take the stand? Do you really want to? You really want to risk that?
Take a
All right, check this out. No, I'm gonna take this all the way from the point of Larry King on the witness stand.
He's a defendant in this case as well, charged with the murder of that child, and gave his explanation as to what exactly was going on that day, why they did what they did, why he did what he did. Let's take a listen.
And when you got up in the morning, did you and the other defendant have a conversation which led to what we saw on the porch, that is you carrying the child out?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen what that I don't want you quoting it, but just tell them what the conversation was about.
Just about her being involved with somebody else, and we had talked about it, and some things broke my heart, and I just asked her to leave. And
all right. So it was about basically what you would call infidelity. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And did she agree to leave?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then what happened next?
I put a child in the car.
All right. Well, you say you put the child in the car. Did you carry her out?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And why were you the one to carry her out?
RITA has an extra kidney, or has a lot of health trouble, and her daughter was getting heavy for her, and so she asked me to carry her.
Okay. And thinking back, and I know you say you hadn't watched that tape, but thinking back, would there have been anything inappropriate, wrong, or rough about the way you would have treated that little disabled girl?
Man, absolutely not. Never.
And here's something else that's really, 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 really bugs me. Throughout all that testimony, they never once, when I say they, I'm talking about Larry King or his defense attorney. They never once referred to Christina by her name. She was always referred to as that disabled little girl. Like she was not even human. Somebody's mentioned in Brittany's live last night, like she's a character in a movie, an extra. Yeah, I can see the credits. That little disabled girl. Come on, man. Her name is Christina. Use it.
Can you imagine a circumstance where it would be your okay. And where did you put her in the car, if you recall? And you stepped away then? Did mom come and like get her settled or seat?
So let me get this right. The key is locked in the car along with the child. The AC is supposed to be on. They don't know. And they're going to go back to her place. Keep in mind, the child is still locked in the car. They're going to go back to her place to get a spare key. All the while, this child is still cooking inside of a 130, 135 degree car. Again, I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, make it make sense. Two things of note because of what I does the way I was raised. One, my dad would always use this line just because you think something's a certain way and it actually isn't. He would always say, "Think long, think wrong." And two, the most important thing of all is you always know what happens when you assume, right? I won't repeat myself with it. Yet and still, I asked somebody to make Larry King's defense make sense. Looking at the trial highlights, if I can go back to that real quick. Forensic Science Network Director Dr. Demetra Garvin testified that Rita Pangalangan and Larry King Jr. both had levels of methamphetamine in their blood consistent with abuse. I'll highlight these two as you can see that for yourself. I won't try to get into the measurements of as far as who had what. Then you had a forensic pathologist testified that Christina died of hypothermia after being left in a hot car for hours. Of course you will. Of course. 5 hours. Hot car. The coroner recorded her body temperature at 109 degrees, the highest temperature his thermometer could reach. found evidence that decomposition had begun based on the nature of her injuries, found that Christina had vomited and had aspirated into her lungs as she was dying. Again, I ask, how was Larry King's testimony compared with a forensic psychologist, forensic pathologist, excuse me, and the director of a forensic science network? How does that match up against that defense? I'm sorry, guys, but I really don't see how. Then again, like I said, I've preached this every summer like clockwork. My my darling wife, she'll tell you right after Memorial Day, what's the first thing I'm doing? I'm online, and the first words out of my mouth is, do not leave your child or your pet inside of a hot car.
Doesn't matter what the temperature is outside. What temperature is it inside that car? It's the phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, my beloved wife, the Honorable Crystal Lynn Bethea, aka Lady Outlaw, she's joining me, and she's saying that the temperature outside doesn't matter. Actually, it does, because if you think about this,
a little bit,
it contributes. If you think about it this way, the temperature outside in this case, outside that car, ran between 88 and 91 degrees.
Well, imagine this, probably 100 to 120 inside that car.
Try between 130 and 135.
Right, and that inside that car is hotter inside
That's
that car than it is outside.
That's what I'm saying. Now factor this. The child is 13 years of age.
How in the heck do you forget your child inside the car?
13 years of age. She's disabled. She's non-verbal. The child didn't stand a chance.
People need to stop having kids if they're just going to leave them in hot cars and kill them anyways.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, sweetheart. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard her here first. She and I shared the opinion about how some parents just don't need to be parents. If you want to yeah, that's my wife, Deanna, and I love her to death. So anybody wants to drop me a line. Let me know how you feel about it. You again, Instagram, TikTok. Yes, that's exactly what she does every single time. She does not mince words, and the truth is her sticking point. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up for any new information that comes along working on tomorrow, I will be following. I'm still here, Deanna. I'm still here for the moment. I said that although I will be working tomorrow, I will be following the testimony of RITA PANGALANGAN. So don't be too surprised if sometime this weekend I may drop in a live just to cover that. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn this session of Bethea'S Byte Reloaded. I want to say thank you to everybody who joined me. Thank you to all those who plan on watching the replay. Deanna, thank you for jumping in the chat. I appreciate it. You guys are, what can I tell you? You guys are the engine that keeps this thing running. Without you, I've got nothing to go on. So please, let's come back and let's do this again. Same time, same place. And you're seeing the slogan on your screen. This is the home of news without drama. This is the home of where your opinions matter. This is the home of lively debates, where your voice is heard. And at the end of the day, above all else, justice is served. And yes, Deanna, I'll be on Brit's channel later tonight. All right. So again, thank you, everybody. I'll see you again next time. Until then, you all know what to do. We stand in recess, as I say. Bite this. Hey guys, this is the Last Outlaw, saying thank you to all who have watched and subscribed to Bethea'S Byte Reloaded, your true crime and drama-free destination. I couldn't do this without you. Did you enjoy this video? Are you looking to get more information about what you have seen and heard here? Are you looking to give feedback as to how I can present this better? Here's what you do. Like this video. The more eyes on it, the more this information gets spread to others, which makes it a step closer to justice served. Share this to your social media. Again, with more eyes on this, the closer we get to seeing justice served. Drop me a comment. Whether it's on the topic or the presentation, I will respond to your theories and ideas. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button to show your support for this little true crime engine, powered by you. Set your notifications to all for future videos. Be sure to follow Bethea'S Byte Reloaded all over social media. At Bethea'S Byte Reloaded True Crime on Facebook. At EKB316 on X, formerly known as Twitter. At Bethea'S Byte Reloaded on YouTube. At EKB316 on Instagram. At King of Hearts 316 2021 on TikTok. You can email me at kingofhearts316_09 at outlook.com. This is your home for news without the drama, your opinions, lively debates, your voice heard, and above all else, justice served. This is Bethea'S Byte, and it's reloaded.